Yanni, it's been a while.
It's been quite a while, actually. How have you been?
I'm good. I have been waiting for you to record, and you're too busy, it seems.
I know. But I've also been waiting for this guy called Fantim. I don't know where he went. He's just, I've been waiting to record too, you know?
So, I mean, we actually have been recording, and we got some good episodes of the Realm Cast coming out, but we haven't done any of these bite-sized episodes in a while. And I think, the Realm Cast, that's our main thing of this channel. I mean, this is the Realm Cast. So.
Yeah, and I can tell you, we've been working on some really cool stuff.
I'm so excited. And the thing is, there's even more coming besides the ones that we have right now. So it's going to be great.
I think, should we mention? Yeah, we normally sort of announce these things as they come up. Mm-hmm. We save one episode and tell you all when we're about to go live with it. But I think this time we're going to give you all a bit of a schedule.
Are you going to tell them who's coming up next?
No, we're not saying that yet. But we're gonna announce a schedule at some point soon. I think that's a good idea. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think we'll do that. We'll post it in social media like Twitter. We'll put it on the Mortal Kombat meme realm on Facebook, and you can also, if your phone is not here on YouTube, make sure you hit that bell icon because you'll get a notification when we post it here too. Yeah,
and we'll probably announce it on an upcoming episode of Toasty Tuesday or something. At some point
why
soon. Not? But in the meantime, we do have some new Mortal Kombat content.
Yeah, that's another thing is there hasn't been a lot of Mortal Kombat content lately. Besides the whole wrap up and stuff that we talked about in our last bite-sized episode. This is the first Mortal Kombat thing we've gotten in a while.
What do you mean wrap up? Are you saying MK11 is dead?
We've been saying MK11's dead all year.
We haven't just been saying it. It's been dead all year.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat Battle of Realms.
I'm actually shocked that you said the name correctly this time.
Oh, did I? I didn't mean to.
So what we're doing on this episode is we're doing a little bit of a spoiler-free review. Just giving our thoughts on it, and we do intend to go in depth with it over the next week or so. But in case you haven't seen it yet, or you were just keen to hear, thoughts on it without having everything spoiled in advance, this episode's for you.
So, Yanni, I take it you watched the movie?
I did, and I take it you did too.
I just finished it right before we started recording.
Perfect. I watched it last night, so at least it's even more fresh in your mind.
Exactly. So overall, what did you think?
I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. And at some point I was like, wait, what's going on? Yes.
Oh, I could not explain it better. Now, I don't want to be too overly critical because Jeremy Adams is a friend of ours here on the podcast. I mean, we've had him on the Realmcast in the past, and I'm sure he's going to come on in the future, but
I think that's even more of a reason to be critical. I would rather be honest.
Yeah. So what happened?
I see. That's the thing. I really felt like the writing was very, what's the word? I would say loyal to an extent, right?
Yes, to an extent.
And it sort of, in my opinion, it was its own take, right, on the Mortal Kombat universe, which I thought was great. It was cool to see something different done in this manner. Yeah. But I feel like at some point in the movie, there was this weird cutoff point where everything just went up in the air.
Well, yeah, just everything went off the rails all of a sudden. All of a sudden too. It was a good consecutive movie. I thought all the characters were well written. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, what is this?
What's going on?
What am I watching? And not in a good way where I'm like, oh, this is great. What is happening? I want to see what happens. It was just like, this is not at all. I mean, throw expectations out the window because yeah. But I mean, overall, I had fun with it. Especially the first half of the movie. It was a lot of fun. I really liked what they did with everything.
Totally agree. The first half of the movie, I was watching it and I was just like, yes, okay, sure, there are some bits where it's just like, why? But you're gonna get that with any Mortal Kombat content, you know what I mean? But I really enjoyed the first half of it, at least. It was something different. The combat was cool, although a bit quick in terms of the fights for me. But it was really cool.
With the fights, we had discussed this in the past, how we were afraid that all of these characters were just going to be throwaway characters. But, even the ones that were throwaway characters, I think they did them some justice with their fight scenes.
I agree and I don't at the same time. On one hand, yes, they did get their sort of chance in the spotlight, and I feel like every character, bar maybe a couple of them, really did get that moment. But then some of them, the couple that I mentioned as well, it was clear that they were just there as throwaways, but they could have received a bit more development. And
they could have, but for a throwaway character, I was excited for what they did with them.
Yeah, fair enough on that. But at the same time, that sort of comes down to possibly throwing too much into the...
Yeah, and I think that was my biggest problem with the movie. When we had discussed Mortal Kombat Legends in the past, even when we discussed it with Jeremy Adams, the whole premise is Mortal Kombat Legends is basically like a form of Mortal Kombat where they can tell various Mortal Kombat stories. Mortal Kombat Legends Battle of the Realms, we want to tell every story possible.
Yeah, this was multiple game storylines in one.
Yeah, and mixing lore and stuff like that. I mean, at this point, even the video games can't keep the lore straight, so that's not surprising. But the way that everything was just kind of mishmashed together at the beginning, it was very well written, very consecutive. You could see that we had several different plots occurring, and we're expecting at some point stuff to kind of come together, but it didn't have to come together. It could have all
been its own thing.
Yeah, done its own thing, had its own little storylines, and I would have been like, oh, that was a fun movie.
Yeah. I mean, we actually sort of discussed this on previous episodes, I think, where we said there seems to be a lot happening, and we were curious to see how they handled it. And honestly, I feel like some of the plot lines that we did get were good to have in there, but should not have been concluded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think so. I do. And, I feel bad because we're not really going into spoilers on this episode, and there's so much to talk about in this movie.
Well, because that's what we've got our next episode for.
Yeah. So we're definitely going to have to do a full spoiler review on this because there's so many things happening. But, overall, like I said, I enjoyed what they did with the characters. I'm just going to talk about a couple things that we've seen in the trailers. And not diving into the most recent trailers because
they were full of spoilers, which I'm so glad I avoided.
Yeah, I mean, they were just full of spoilers. They've been releasing complete clips of the movie at this point.
And a runtime of 1 hour, 23 minutes, I think it was. I don't think that's a great idea.
No, I think they released about 50 minutes worth of footage so far.
And you were saying, yeah, come on, Yanni, why aren't you watching it? And I'm just like, well, you know why?
Well, so I stopped after the first two trailers, and the first two trailers, if you've seen them, it's not giving really anything away. This movie kind of delves into Liu Kang's backstory a little bit more in the way that the first Mortal Kombat Legends movie did with Sonya Blade. And I like that. I think Jeremy Adams is able to contribute to the lore in a lot of ways. And that's why I like that he has been involved in these projects, because he is a fan. And, I kind of wonder if some of the decisions were basically NetherRealm Studios giving their input, as we know that they've done with this movie. And
I feel like that's exactly the case, actually.
Yeah.
Because you can tell that Jeremy Adams, from the writing, definitely knew and loved the lore. You can tell that was there, that passion.
Oh, yeah. And he made it clear on our episode where we interviewed him. I mean, he is a huge Liu Kang fan, and this is something he wanted to do with Liu Kang, was give him his own storyline and build him up into the chosen one, make him actually the chosen one.
Yeah.
But, as we saw with Mortal Kombat 11, once NetherRealm gets involved in their own story, it just kind of doesn't make a lot of sense anymore.
Yeah, I'm still hung up on that Ed Boon quote of him saying that nobody knows the lore like Dominic Cianciolo.
Oh, I can think of some, quite a few of our previous guests who can know the lore better than Dominic.
But I mean, like we were saying, you could definitely tell that understanding of and love for the lore was there. But I do agree with you. I feel like some decisions were made which possibly clashed with the direction that they were initially taking. Because a lot did come together in a really weird way towards, at some point in the movie, And it was really weird because I genuinely did really enjoy the beginning I keep saying to a certain point because I don't want to say where. But I really enjoyed that section of the movie. It was really fun to watch, even if it was obviously its own take and not completely accurate to what we've seen in the games. But the whole point is that this is a sort of retelling from a different perspective, which was cool. But something happened at some point where I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah, exactly.
But I do want to commend them on their choices of characters. Even if everybody didn't get as much of a role as, one would have hoped, it was still a very sort of, diverse roster of characters, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that they had, current generation characters mixed in with, this movie is basically the second tournament. At least that's how it starts off. And I'm surprised they had characters like Deborah and Lee May in there mixed in with this.
Who we don't count as spoilers considering they've been in the first trailer.
Right, exactly. I'm not going to tell you what happens to them, but they were in there.
But yeah, it was nice seeing the roster, honestly. I was really happy to see certain characters in there, and I will definitely go into more detail on that when we get into our spoiler episode. But one thing as well that I really want to say something positive about was the voice acting.
Oh, yeah. Everybody did such a good job. And, I even ended up liking characters like Stryker in this movie. I've never been a Stryker fan, but I every character in there I enjoyed.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm a fan of Stryker, regardless of how good the voice acting was, but I will definitely say that the voice acting for him was, of course, amazing as ever from Matthew Mercer.
Oh, yeah. At the end of this movie, this is not a spoiler or anything, I was just expecting one of the characters to yell out, "It's combat time."
Oh, that would have been good, actually. That would have been a really cool call out.
There was a great call out in it where...
Is this a spoiler?
No. Shang Tsung at one point says something like, "You will be next," or "You are next," or something like that, which is a throwback to
You're next.
The Mortal Kombat movie. Where
yeah. No, it's not even the Mortal Kombat movie. It's literally just Mortal Kombat's sort of taglines. Remember, who's next? You're next.
Well, I guess so. But if you recall, back Kiri Tagawa, he points at somebody, I forgot who it was, after he absorbs Art Lean, I think. And then he goes, "You will be next." So to me, it was kind of a callback to that because he's pointing at a character and he says that. And I'm like, oh, yes.
Nah, it was really cool. I really did enjoy.
Yeah, same.
Very good performance from everybody who was involved. And I really, really am holding back from saying any spoilers, honestly. So I think this is actually a good time to sort of stop there.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you watch it again?
You know what? Yes. And then probably stop it at a certain point.
Yeah. That's exactly what I think too. I ordered it with a steelback edition from I think Best Buy selling it with a steelback cover or something.
Oh, wow.
And just because it'll go along with my Scorpion's Revenge DVD or Blu-ray. So,
well, in my opinion, I'm seeing, split sort of opinions on the movie. Some people saying they absolutely hated it. Some people saying they loved it, and fair enough. That's how the community always will be and how all communities always will be. I enjoyed this more than the 21 movie, the live action.
Oh, yeah. But, parts of it I did.
That's the thing. Parts of it. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So I enjoyed both, as I made very clear. I obviously can definitely criticize the both of them. I think we wouldn't be doing our fandom justice if we didn't, you know what I mean? But I enjoyed it in the end, really. That's what it comes down to. I had fun with it. I do wish that it was sort of handled better in terms of the multiple sort of plot lines that it had, but I had fun with it. There is a lot more I do want to say on our spoiler episode, though.
For the flaws that Scorpion's Revenge had, the flaws that we actually called out to Jeremy Adams, that the things that we didn't like about it, on the Jeremy Adams episode, again, you should go back and listen to that because that's a great episode.
It's a really cool episode. So definitely check it out. We had a lot of fun with Jeremy Adams there. And thanks again for joining us if you are listening to this.
But despite those flaws that we had pointed out with Scorpion's Revenge, I did enjoy Scorpion's Revenge more than I enjoyed this one. And it's a shame because I started out liking this better than Scorpion's Revenge, I think. Even with Scorpion's Revenge, there's a certain point where I was like, come on. And I feel like this movie followed in that same line, except for at a greater extreme. So
the things did really go absolutely crazy. I get what you're saying. I started off enjoying this movie a lot more than Scorpion's Revenge, and I really enjoyed Scorpion's Revenge. I really, really did. But at some point, it just switched, and from that moment, I was like, "What is like?" No, I think I enjoy Scorpion's Revenge more. You know, like.
It was like watching a different movie all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's exactly how I would describe it. Yeah, good choice of wording.
But anyways, let us know what you guys think. Do you agree? I mean, are we being too hard on this movie, or are we not being hard enough? Which I think when we go into spoilers, we'll be able to be harder on it, because there's a lot to talk about in this movie.
Yeah, like there's things I really want to praise, and there's things I really want to criticize. You know,
yeah, exactly.
I always try to take that sort of objective route. And like I said, I enjoyed it. I definitely had my problems with it, but I also definitely had moments which I really loved in it too. So let us know what you thought of the movie. Have you actually checked it out? Or have you been excited for it? Is this something that's, on your list to watch? Or are you seeing how people react to it? Let us know. I'm curious to hear the community's reactions, because from what I've been seeing on the meme realm, if honestly, most of the responses have been quite positive, but I have definitely seen some critical responses, which are totally fair, honestly. So
I'm curious how many people didn't see it because they already saw the trailers.
I mean, if they've seen all the trailers, then they've technically seen the movie.
Yeah, true. I mean, no, we're just kidding. There's some good stuff in the movie that didn't make it to the trailers. I'm like a couple shots.
Before the spoiler episode, I'm actually going to watch all the trailers to see what I missed, just to see how much of the movie they showed in those trailers.
Are you going to watch like even the little clips that they released?
Everything they released, because I want to see how much I can piece of the movie together just from those trailers.
Oh,
because this is probably going to be like me saying, I told you so, about me choosing not to watch them because of spoilers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think you're probably right.
But thank you all for joining us on this Tarkatan mini bite-size episode. As we mentioned, we have been quite busy lately, but we do have a really, really cool lineup of episodes on the way, which we've been busy recording over the past while. And we will, as we said, be announcing a list of our upcoming episodes in no particular order, just to let you know what we have on the way and see how you guys respond to all that. Let us know what are you most keen for. I'm actually curious to see that as well, because we are really excited to bring you these next few episodes of the Realm Cast. But in the meantime, please like, follow, subscribe, just to stay up to date. Thanks.